Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to be reading some comments that I received for you, and I'm going to try to put the answers in a good format here for you so that it makes sense and that everybody gets a little bit of education out of this experience. So the first question that came in, and I'm not going in any particular order, I'm just kind of scrolling here, is does anyone experience sudden loud ringing in one ear accompanied by a complete hearing loss in the ear lasting only a few seconds? That particular ear. I've yet to know why this happens, and it is the scariest symptom yet. I agree 100%. Now, unilateral. Basically, let me explain a little bit of that. Unilateral is obviously, when it comes to this situation, is having that sensation of hearing or hearing loss in one ear, meaning one. And so what happens is that tapering, which is kind of like that offset sound. So you get the ring in the ear and then it tapers off, and then it's like a sudden loss of hearing for a minute, and then it goes back to normal and then the body's restored. A couple of reasons of why that is that there could be blood flow changes in that particular ear. So like anything else, I always explain that blood flow, good adequate blood flow and good circulation is extremely important to the ears to keep your ears healthy and flowing. Some reasons could be ear infection in that particular ear or ears. It could be, again, blood flow changes at the time that it happens. So you get that tapering sound, that tapering, like that offset ringing to stop to nothing, and then it goes back. That could be blood flow changes, and also pressure changes in the head and neck. These are all things that I discuss constantly. So if you're having pressure changes in the head and neck, and you're having blood flow changes, increase of blood flow could be that sound that's tapering. And then also just it could be anything, infection, injury to that particular ear or ears. Now, a lot of times you can have problems in both ears, but that one ear is the only ear. Usually there's a dominant ear that comes into play. And that same ear is the one that follows you all the way through the process and the journey. Mine was the left, some others have right, or some of them. Very seldomly I see both, but it could happen. So that's pretty much what it is. It's pressure changes in the head and neck. Changes in blood flow is the biggest reason, and that's why you're getting that sound that kind of stops and tapers off. And so a couple of things is you want to be sure that if that continues to happen over and over, you do want to go get that checked out. Oftentimes it's benign because of the following reasons of what I stated, but you still want to get it checked out because you never know. It's always good to be sure of things. It can lead to a numerous of things. I don't want to get too drastic, but it can lead to, some of those could be a sign of hearing loss, tumor, but you always want to get it checked out just to be on the safe side of things. And the next question is how to heal tinnitus or tinnitus from ETD after COVID. I'm going to try not to give you a long-winded response answer, but this one is going to be similar to a lot of what I say about how to heal from ETD, regardless if COVID was in effect or not. COVID has played a huge part when it comes to dealing with good, healthy sinuses, trying to get our sinuses back to healthy, and trying to get them back in functioning. Now, a lot of us are trying daily already to make sure we're in good posture. That's really one of the big things. Tinnitus or tinnitus, however you decide to pronounce it, I say tinnitus, is going to have to do with a lot of things. Now, I'm going to really try to condense this a little bit because this question requires an entire video, to be honest. But basically, it's gonna have a lot to do with a couple of things. Posture is one of the main ones. Posture, and you want to make sure to just like the last question, you want to make sure the surrounding muscles, the SCM muscles, the masseter muscles, those are all tied to ETD one way, shape, or form. You can look it up anywhere you go online. You're going to need to understand the anatomy a little bit of why that's a factor of the ear. The ear is way over here. Why could it be a factor way down here and way down here? Our posture are all hugging on our spine. Our body's hugging on our spine. And our posture has a lot to do with that. When it comes to COVID, it sets off a lot of things. Obviously, mucus buildup has become an issue. You're going to have you're going to be more susceptible because of viruses in general. It can lead to infection. Now, all of that is going to have a lot to do with inflammation. So basically, the main thing here, the main thing to focus on here is to reducing inflammation and improving blood circulation. And that's done through good posture, good diet, and stretching. So my answer is, and to try to make this not so long-winded, is reduce the inflammation and increase the circulation. If you can do those two things, even because of COVID or just in general, you're going to see dramatic improvements because you're reducing inflammation. Not just improvements for ETD entirely, but the entire body. If you can reduce inflammation for the entire body, your whole body's going to feel better. So that's going to be the main focus. Get that inflammation down, get the circulation up. You get circulation up with good posture, good stretching, good healthy sleep, good water intake, lots of vitamins, vegetables, leafy greens, and good fruit. All of that is going to tie in to how you get rid of and how you heal from ETD post-COVID or post in general. And the next question is, can ETD be linked to inflamed trigger points in the sternocleidomastoid? Absolutely. The SCM muscle is a huge factor when it comes to ETD, just based on the position of where it lies. Now, like I always try to emphasize the importance of good trigger point release and good massages, because the ear is it's harboring and bordering the area of the SCM muscles and several other muscles around, the trapezius muscle, the rhomboid muscle. These muscles are all kind of interlocked in some way, shape, or form, treading along the spine. Now, when those muscles become tense and stiff, it sends different chemical repulse, basically a chemical response or impulse, and so your body starts to gravitate to whatever it is it's going through. It could be poor posture, it could be stress release, stress response release, cortisol release, and like a histamine release. All these are kind of laced together. So yes, absolutely, SCM. You want to make sure to have good health, a good healthy SCM muscle, and the surrounding tissue, keeping the masseter muscle as well. All of that's going to be very beneficial in healing from ETD. Alrighty, my wellness people, that concludes the Q&A for today. Please keep the comments coming in, the questions coming in. Leave them in the comments below. I will make a video based on if I get at least 3 or 4 comments with questions, and I'll make it worthwhile for you. So I hope that video was very helpful for you. If it was, take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content pretty often. And in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the Jaye Wellness Studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we're here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody.